Hello, everybody. Good to see you. And I mean, I really sincerely missed you guys. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks since our last Lost in Space, and I sincerely and sorely missed it. And I do deeply apologize. I hope my voice will be up for tonight. If not, I've got my fellow panelists here that are going to help me out. Thank goodness I couldn't do it without them, but I sincerely missed it. And we're going to pick up right where we left off last time. We'll probably get through this. I have a feeling we'll get through this tonight's episode relatively quickly. It's another Peter Packer episode, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same thing earlier today, Pop. Yeah.
Yes. Tonight we're going to be covering season 2, episode 19, Mutiny in Space. And even not only the plot and the tropes and everything are going to seem very familiar in this, but even the guest star, I want to point him out because the guy did a lot of work, especially back in the 60s, TV work. And what's interesting is he even played pretty much the exact same character. There was an episode of Bewitched. Okay, if anybody's watched Bewitched, there was one season where their set caught on fire and was damaged. And when the season started, they weren't able to shoot around the inside of the house. So they shot the first about a quarter of that season on location in Massachusetts. And in one of the episodes, she meets a ghost of Samantha, that is, brings back to life from a painting a ghost of an old captain, ship's captain slash pirate. And it's the exact same actor we're getting tonight. And I'm not exaggerating, it's all CBS. So, same costume, even. And it was all shot around the same time. It was almost like they saw him walking around the studio and said, oh wow, I got the perfect part for you. In fact, don't even bother changing your clothes. Dress just like that. So, yeah, it's the exact same guy. Anybody who remembers Bewitched as fondly as I do just may remember that. Of course, my pooch is wanting attention all of a sudden. But before that, I want to say hello to my fellow panelists. Hello, Gorillas Random Thoughts. How are you doing?
Oh, sore. Yeah, it's a citywide cleanup, so I went and cleaned up a bunch of crap there. Especially since my friend Shauna, who left a bunch of stuff here 3 years ago, and said she'd come back and get it, never did, and she hasn't messaged me back, so I threw it all out on the curb.
Oh, that's one of those where it's your chance to they'll come and get everything for free, right?
Yeah,
Oh, good, good, yeah.
so
That's yeah.
I got a bunch of stuff thrown out there, and I've got there, and my new pillow top mattress cover came in, so I'm looking forward to trying that out tonight
Oh,
and
that's gotta
stuff.
help.
Oh yeah. No, it seems like it's not as thick as what they advertised, but
What
oh,
is it for Amazon?
no, Walmart.
What do you do if
That,
it's smaller? You can
that,
return it if you want to, if it's not thick like they said.
well, I think it is 3. It's supposed to be 3 inches, but I was thinking it was going to be a lot thicker than what it is.
Yeah,
But
cool.
it's supposed to
I
be having. It's supposed to have like cooling gel, and the way it's designed, it's supposed to help with back pain and everything. So that with my new box spring there,
oh
that should help me with sleeping.
yeah. I hope it does. I hope it helps out. And Pleasant Valley Picker CA, aka PvP. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, Pop. Doing okay. The workday went quickly, which is always a bonus. And I was so happy when I saw that you were going to be doing the Lost in Space again tonight. So that's another bonus. So yeah, I'm doing pretty good here. I just wanted to mention to Gorilla, I can totally relate because had a new mattress for about a month now. That actually my cousin's wife picked it out. I didn't even go to pick it up, but she's really good at that stuff. And it's a really great mattress, and But my body is still adjusting to it because I kind of got a few aches and pains because my old mattress was so horrible and saggy. It's taken me time to adjust to an actually decent mattress again. Kind of relate to what Bill was saying about trying to find a mattress. That, I hope.
I think you're cutting out PvP.
Am I? Am I cutting out? Am I cutting out, Bella?
Oh, now you're sounding like you're across the room from your mic.
What the heck?
Now you
Nice. Wait, now you sound better.
Okay. Oh boy, I'm starting to wonder. This cord. I paid $90 for these headphones, but the damn cord keeps tangling up, and I know what happens. Sometimes it starts shorting out, and boy, if it starts shorting out, I'm going back to the store because I've only had this thing like maybe 6 months. It shouldn't be giving up the ghost this early, right? So,
Yeah,
oh
that
boy,
sucks.
yeah. I can never seem to find a good good set of headphones that don't have a cord that tangles because this cord's quite thick actually. So I wasn't thinking it would tangle, but after a couple months, it started to.
Is it braided?
Yeah,
It's not. I don't think it is actually because the last one I had was braided and it was really bad.
Huh.
This one's just like rubber or whatever. Just
That's why I go for the $5 or $10, but the headphones are just replaceable like every 6 months.
I think that's what I'm going to do next time. Actually, yeah, because but these are supposed to be like really good headphones, and they everything. All the reviews said these are like really good ones. So I thought, oh, what the heck, I might as well go for something good for a change because the last pair were cheapos.
Here's a tip. I don't look at those five-star reviews. I look at the 1-star reviews and how many they got compared to the 5, because a lot of companies, what they'll do is they'll have sock puppet accounts, or they'll hire people to give 5-star reviews there.
Yeah, that I do check the 1 stars as well, actually, Gorilla, because I do like to get a nice range of opinions. But if there's a lot, well, and who knows? That's the problem. You can never be sure you're getting accurate information these days, right? So
yeah. Amazon is notorious for that as well. It's a lot of especially the Chinese companies. They either create bots or pay for bots that go in and give fake positive reviews. A lot of times the reviews don't even match the item that you're looking at.
Amazon is kind of notorious for bad service because I actually used to hang out with some people that sell online, and one of them recently was talking about his experiences selling on Amazon and how customers can just rip you off, like just lie and say that, like you didn't send them the proper product.
Oh yes.
And then they get a full refund from Amazon, and the poor seller's left stuck holding the bag, of course, paying all the fees, right? So, and losing the merchandise to boot.
Yes.
So I would never trust Amazon, really. That's just me, but I don't.
That's a lot of that's a lot of those auctions they have. Have you guys seen them where you could buy an entire pallet of your return Amazon goods?
Oh yeah, I know about those. Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, people even have videos of openings, boxes and crap. I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. That's why I admire girls' bravery because I don't buy anything online, especially stuff like mattresses, shoes, pants. I got to make sure it's going to, be the right fit before I put my money down on anything like that. So,
well,
anyway.
I don't buy shoes online, but like some of the stuff I can't get around here unless I order it online.
Oh, yeah, you
yeah,
got
same here.
Town.
Same here. And I was going to say, it's getting to where going local and buying brick and mortar, you're limited by your selection and you end up paying more. So sometimes it doesn't work out for the best.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because like Walmart used to be great. Like 5 years ago, I could get furniture, I could buy all kinds of stuff there that was really, good quality, but you could actually see it in person and try it out. If you bought a chair, you could sit on it before you bought it, right? Kind of thing. Now that's all online. It's all gone. They don't have furniture, and they don't even have media. Like they used to have a whole shelf row full of DVDs and all kinds of cool box sets and stuff. Last time I was in there a month ago, it's all gone. The guy said, "Oh, that's all online now," and I'm like, "Well, that isn't that lovely,
Of course.
Yeah.
But I would tell him, okay, I'll just go to Amazon then.
Yeah, it's there's only a few stores here that still have actual real media when I think about it.
Yeah, even Best Buys are closing up. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, if you want to start for Lost in Space, Bob, that would
Well, I
whenever.
wanted to say hello to the chat.
Oh,
We
good.
haven't done that
Good.
yet.
Good thought.
And I'm sorry, chat. I hope you don't think we were ignoring you because we most certainly were not. And I wanted to start out by saying hello to Edge of Time. Hello, Edge of Time. Edge of Time says greetings from the Edge of Time. Right back
Yeah.
at you.
Hey, what's it like on the edge of time there? Edge of time.
Yeah, so you're going really
Are
slow,
we gonna?
really fast.
Are we going out in the big crunch or the big freeze? All right, I'm done.
All right, and looks like hello, Lemon Pie. Lemon Pie says, "Hi, Pop. Lost in Space
Hey,
is cool. It's been a while. Yes, it has, and I really, really
yeah,
missed it. So good. And
yeah,
you too, Lemon Pie. I missed you
yeah.
too.
Hey there, Scurvy, and hey, Suzanne.
Hello. Oh, TVP says hi, Lemon. Hold on, let me try this. There we go. And Suzanne says hello, all. Hello, Suzanne. Hope you are doing well as well. TVP says hi, Suzanne. And Lemon Pie says hi, Suzanne. And it looks like people are saying hello to each other. And there's Jill. I'm having me issues. Hold on. Got it, Jill. No problem. We'll keep blabbering until you get here. And PvP says, okay, Jill. And Pie says, hi, Jill. And Jatime says, the big, crunchy, freezy. Oh, that doesn't sound like fun. And hey, Orler says Lemon Pie.
Yeah.
Orler
Hey,
Greg. Hello,
OG,
Orler. Hi, Orler Greg. Sorry about that. Didn't even see hello,
and
Lemon.
and
Hello,
hey,
everyone.
and hey, DJ.
And hello, DJ. Play nice. We get that. Wee. Orler Greg says, great Spiders campaign event coming up soon. Well, considering my deep fear of spiders, I'll try not to be too early to that. Play nice. Hey there, says Lemon Pie. And Order Greg says, vote Giant Spider in 24. It's got to be better than what we have up for options now. That I would vote for.
That probably would be a good option, actually.
Yeah, exactly. What we have right now doesn't look very promising, I have to admit. Doesn't matter what political side you're on, none of them look promising. DJ says Lemon Pie and another other Jill.
Hi, DJ.
Jill will be on as soon as she gets her problems alleviated. And DJ says, hello, this is NXT. So I'm going to read a little bit of the background of this episode before we get started. Because usually I read from the book Urban Alice Lost in Space, the authorized biography of a classic sci-fi series, Volume 2, by Mark Cushman. And I usually read some of the assessment that he writes at the very beginning of his point of view of this particular episode. And here's what he has to say. By the way, the episode was written by Peter Packer. Peter Packer, story editor Anthony Wilson, directed by Don Richardson, and produced by Urban Allen with William D. Ferrara. Assessment reads, Mutiny in Space gets its author's award as the worst Lost in Space episode made. Peter Packer, whose scripts often read better than perhaps any of the writers, the series seemed to have given up, or perhaps just given into the trend of turning the series from sci-fi adventure fantasy to comedy fantasy and, with this episode anyway, insipid comedy fantasy at that. The clever dialogue normally found in a Packer script is missing. What we get instead of serviceable lines chatter, plot points verbalized, but rarely in an admirable or memorable manner. The plot has a few imaginative elements, but overall it's more run-of-the-mill than most Packer tales. Judging by this script, Don Richardson may have been right in saying that Packer sometimes simply transcribed ideas suggested by Tony Wilson. This time, as it appeared to have happened with The Girl with the Green Dimension also, Packer seemed not terribly stimulated by the story he was asked to write. In other words, he just phoned it in. Okay. Even if the viewer, I start giving my feed my dogs. Even if the viewer, and this is going to go real back, kids, real old for a lot of you that are around. But even if the viewer is a fan of Charles Laughton's Captain Bligh, or intrigued by sails of the high seas from our 17th and 18th centuries, such as Mutiny on the Bounty, this tribute to that character and genre is banal at best. It has no point to it. Nothing is learned by the half-mad Captain Zart. He enters the story bellowing his orders, vowing revenge against Mr. Kid No over and over in a braying voice. He maintains this level of melodrama, a one-note character throughout. At the end of the story, nothing has been learned, so no ideas have been presented by any of the characters. The lack of the theme is especially disappointing, since science fiction and fantasy of the 60s was an effective platform for expression of otherwise subversive ideas such as acceptance and equality. Jonathan Harris once rationalized, "We had some good scripts and some bad scripts throughout, and that's the way it is in television. It's not just us. You don't get a great script every week in a series, but if you're lucky, you'll get a good script every fourth one. I don't know whether the first year was better than the second. The point is, we had our share of good scripts and some that were less than good. You read a script and say, is there anything I can do about it? You try to create something inventive to take it up a bit. A TV series is 5 days a week, from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. It's hard to make no mistake about it, and you can get tired too. Judging by this episode, the show's creators were tiring too. Tony Wilson, in particular, and subpar entries like Mutiny in Space were wearing out the patience of many members of the audience. The script was first turned in on October 7th, 1966. The original title was Fly Away Home. The draft teleplay was October 31st, and the final draft was on November 1st. Okay. Hello, welcome back. Oh, hello, Jill. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I want to introduce everybody, like you don't already know who she is, the great and wonderful Antiderivative Jill.
Yes, I am sorry I'm so late. My microphone just decided to die, and so I had to get this backup one. Hope it sounds okay.
You sound fine.
Absolutely fabulous. And I've been having technical issues for the last 2 weeks, so I totally understand.
Yeah, Pop and Gorilla told me my mic was cutting out a bit earlier tonight, so don't feel bad, Jill. It seems like mic issues are a common thing these days.
But it's good to have you back, Jill. I'm
For
sorry we
sure.
missed the last couple of weeks. And
That's all right. We're here now.
yeah, we're here now, and I think we're still going to have a good time. So that explains. So even, I know looking back, in hindsight, we can say whether episodes are good or bad. But judging by this statement that I just read by Jonathan Harris, they even knew when scripts were good and bad and said that they couldn't always be good. Or some were better than others. Star Trek, I'd say, had a much better hit and miss ratio, in my opinion, that is.
And I want to say welcome to Hurt. He says, PJ, The Toothless Cat and I are watching the show. Hey, Pop, panel, and crew.
Good to see you. Glad you could join us. Hope you're doing well.
Hello.
Okay, so is there anything you want to add before we get started?
I got
Sorry my voice is so weak tonight, guys.
yeah, I got 3 chats here. Let's just start out show caught up. I always enjoy Pop's extra information about the show. And
Oh, great.
DJ says 5 times 5 out here. Well, that should be 25, shouldn't it?
5 by 5 means loud and clear, Gorilla.
Oh, that says 5 times 5.
No, but it's 5 by 5 means loud and clear. It's just jargon.
And he
Time
says,
is the same as by, like 4x4, 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, it's an old technical short technical term for loud and clear if your sound kind of thing.
all right, then OG here says, Hailing frequencies open for Jill.
Thank you.
Well, she is a communications officer after all.
Absolutely.
Yes, and I realized I was going to be too late if I tried to solve my issue. So luckily I had another microphone.
My heart dropped this morning. I was earlier and I saw that John Williams was trending on Twitter. And I was worried that he had passed away, but fortunately not.
Did you find out why he was trending?
No, it was just a list of the best John Williams soundtracks. I don't know why, but every now and then people just suddenly start bringing up and talking about his best work. I mean, which is fine and dandy, but whenever I see his name pop up, like with William Shatner, my heart kind of flutters at first. It's like, no, those are 2 people that need to live forever, or at least as long as possible.
Agreed.
That does happen at times, it seems. So there'll be suddenly some person will get a bunch of attention, and I'm afraid that, oh no, what happened? Something bad? And then I'll look, and it's usually something kind of innocuous that people are twittering and chatting about.
Right, like in the list of somebody posting a list of the top movies of his soundtracks. That's just clickbait. That's just somebody looking for attention for an article that they wrote. It really has nothing modern in the story, nothing updated, nothing new for us to find out. It's just somebody wanting to get attention off his name. It's shameful.
Yeah, it does seem it's kind of a pain. I agree. Yeah.
I don't know. People like lists.
Which is, I guess that's okay. But for us old folk, it makes us worry the person's dead. Especially when it's a celebrity name that we haven't heard in a long time. When the name pops up, you're like, oh no. And it's like, yeah, sure enough, that person's dead. Like Dabney Coleman died the other day. And nobody's going to talk about him. Yeah, I like Dabney Coleman. I thought he was funny.
But, yeah, gosh. I didn't even hear about it. Oh,
no.
Darn.
There's certain people that just slip by the radar. And when they pass, nobody talks about them. And that's only because he always played a bad guy, a snake. But he did a good job at it, and he was actually funny.
Yeah.
He was a good actor, yeah.
Hey, welcome Taylor Swift, greater than Disney, Star Wars, MCU, and Doctor Who, giving us the turquoise waving hands there.
Hello, Taylor Swift. And I'm going to try to get Gorilla to show I'm going to try to get Gorilla to show one of Dabney Coleman's movies called Short Time, a comedy from like 1980, which is actually very funny. So hopefully you can cover that one of these nights, Gorilla.
Okay. He says, hello. Jill, can you read this one?
Sure. Matt G says, Jill.
Then Faith used to save 5x5 on Buffy.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
That's where I actually realized what that meant when I watched that episode.
See, now that's 5x5, not 5 times. The other one's 5 times 5.
Well, yeah, he was shortening it down. I think, lazy type. You should have put 5 by 5.
Yeah.
Makes more sense.
Yeah. DJ says 5x5 comes from ham and military radio. It indicates clarity and strength of signal. I didn't know ham could talk.
In that case, they can.
You mean you haven't eaten spam lately, then, Gorilla?
Hey, my body's already got enough preservatives in it. I don't need to eat pure preservatives.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and who's Buffy? Because spam is like
Who's
99%.
Buffy? Oh my goodness.
And lazy typing, I'm out.
Oh, I'm sorry. You
Yeah,
know what I mean, though. I mean, you got to go 5 by 5 for people to understand.
yeah,
Totally.
I'm just giving them crap, so. Scurvy says Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Sometimes jokes like that don't land, do they?
Yeah. But but spam is pretty much 99% preservatives or 1% meat.
It's garbage. It was invented for the war.
No,
People like it though. There's even different flavors. And it's expensive. My goodness, it's more expensive than beef. Spam goes upwards of $5 a can.
Well, what I think is pretty. Things gotten really bad when they gotta lock up the spam.
Oh yes. And the underwear, and the toilets, toiletries.
Yeah. And hey, Sean, how's it going?
Have they really? Hello to Lemon Pie.
Oh yeah, I can send you pictures of them having a spam locked behind cases. But should we get this episode started so that?
Yes. Yes, I want to say hello, Sean.
I don't know.
Sci-fi model guy. Sean just
Hi,
finished Sean just finished his video series of the Klingon D7 cruiser on the Sci-Fi Model Guy channel, and I highly recommend it to everybody. It's amazing the amount of detail the guy has.
I gotta check those out. D7's my favorite battle cruiser my favorite starship next to the Enterprise always.
And it's so simplistic in design.
Yeah, I gotta take a look at that.
But he put lights in it and everything. I mean, it looks amazing.
Cool.
Okay, so now we pick up where we left off last week, if you all remember. Smith was apparently trying to get some water. I guess they're trying to, right now the family of Jupiter 2 are going through a drought. So they're trying to figure out any way needs to come up with some water. And here we have the tanks, and we have Will and Dr. Smith. And of course, we know from Dr. Smith not to expect the best. Go ahead, Gorilla.
No, with what we found out in the scene, don't you think that the robot should have told them before they fired it that the Dr. Smith's calculations were wrong?
Yes.
But it wouldn't have done any good, though. That's the problem, right? Because Smith will never listen anyway.
Yeah, but we never got the satisfaction of hearing the robot, so the robot can go, I told you so.
Danger.
That's true. There's another problem with the episode.
You know what would have made this great? It could became the trope of the series. Is every time that Dr. Smith doesn't listen to the robot and everything goes wrong, they could have the robots cross his arms and go, too bad we can't see the feet, but going, I told you so. Kind of like the wife does in to husbands and shows when they're tapping their feet, crossing their arms, going, "I told you so." I think that would have been funny. Damn
up.
Well, yeah, something. Especially since this caused a projectile to almost hit the Jupiter 2. Definitely, that would have made sense.
Right.
Yeah.
He's definitely risking the ship. But this is another episode, and we've always brought up before too, is that we're surprised that the Robinsons put up with so much with Smith, but they actually do somewhat ostracize him in this episode. And there we have with some more equipment exploding. And of course, we'll see those pops again. So.
That's an interesting line of dialogue there. I don't have no idea what 10,000 candles blowing out would actually smell like, and I doubt I ever will actually find out firsthand.
Well, I'm thinking they're maybe talking about sulfur. Have you ever been around like fireworks after they've been extinguished or after they go out? Maybe
Yeah,
that's what they're talking about. Ozone?
yeah, it's not really clear though. Well, Peter Packer wrote it, so I'm not surprised. It's not clear.
Oh, yeah, and you asked the question at the end of the last episode, what is this thing? This is the weather detector, a weather detector device of some sort that Smith
Yes.
destroyed, along with a list of valuable chemicals from their laboratory.
And of course, Smith had no problem taking all the chemicals and taking the equipment and destroying things, and because that's what he does.
Like a child. Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, as a list, by the way, property for the script, it says mechanical props. This is where they're estimating the cost of the episode. Mechanical props required. A cost item. A rain-making missile and launcher. B. Robinson Weather Station, to later be demolished. So that's what we're looking at now, is a weather station. And C. Robinson Negative Power Machine. Note, items A and B could logically be afforded by arbitrary concept, but item C, as now described, could be a very costly prop. But I don't think they had to worry too much about that because, as we recognize, some of it comes from previous episodes.
Yeah. Hey, welcome Snortopoopas Cuber.
Snortopoopas
Hey, Snarty.
Cuber. Hi.
They even have a list here, which I'll cover later, of all the scenes that can be replaced by stock footage. So they were really looking to save it on this one. The story showed promise.
Wait, how did they know that? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Gorilla.
I was just gonna ask them, how did they know that the chemicals were gone without checking?
I'd have to watch it again. I watched it 2 weeks ago.
Well, they said,
They came from inside the ship and said they were missing, or they did not come from inside the ship, or what happened?
well, Maureen says those are just some of the chemicals that we have in our lab. Then Don there goes, we had them in our lab.
Oh,
They never explained like how they know they're gone.
well, that sounds like Don must have noticed and didn't say anything until now. So I guess they're assuming that Dr. Smith took them for his little experiment.
Yeah, that's just taken for granted. It does seem to be just assumed.
Well, because it would. You know what? And once again, we're talking about this is the Peter Packer script. But they could have easily showed a scene where Don was confronting Dr. Smith for taking the chemicals. But apparently he doesn't have time for that in the script, and they just kind of blow over it, is what I'm guessing. It's like they all just want to hurry up and just move on to the antagonist of the week.
Oh, they just smell it. Gorilla, the answer is that they just sniff it. And they can tell what chemicals there are just by the smell.
Yeah, that part I got, but it doesn't necessarily mean it came from their lab.
And Jill,
gathering these chemicals.
And Jill, I have to agree. There's sometimes where you can tell a chemical by the smell of what it was, or the burn. You can tell by what the chemical is. I remember when I took chemistry, sulfur, for example, you can smell that when it burns.
Oh yes, that's a good example. The rotten eggs.
Oh yes, one of the worst.
All right, can we catch up on chat real quick?
Great idea, thank you, Gorilla.
All right, it says so. Sean says, "What do you think of your J2 pop?"
Beautiful. That's another thing, everybody. Check out Sean's channel, he's shown the progress of the Jupiter 2 he's assembling, and it is truly amazing. I'm not kidding.
All right. And
It's amazing.
Sean says,
Yeah.
"Oh, Greg, thanks for the reminder because they had to hit the like button." And Star Poopa says, "Hello, humans and other critters." They say, "Hello to Pop, hello to Sean."
Hello there.
And welcome,
Hello
Mr. Burke.
there.
We're all caught up.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
So quickly and immediately we meet. Yeah, go ahead. Do you want to
I
say
was gonna
something?
say,
Roland?
yeah, we got another human-looking alien. Come on, can't they give him like some forehead ridges or some pointy ears or something?
Oh, some more work for Dawson Palmer.
Well,
Usually
not
when we get
only
an
does he
alien-
look. Oh, sorry, Pop. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, usually when we get an alien or a monster, it's Dawson Palmer.
Yeah, but I mean, I've lost track of how many times we have completely human-looking aliens, and this guy is even dressed in like a Navy uniform from the Earth kind of thing. Like it doesn't look alien at all what he's wearing. So it's like, wow, thanks, Peter. You're right on track again with this one.
Well, it's every episode almost that
Well,
they get an alien and
plenty,
so it's human-looking.
plenty of them. Yeah, but this one is really over the top. I mean, for me, as far as like, he's right out of the seven seas, this fellow.
Yes, a lot of these ship props are taken directly from the time tunnel. It was
Oh, well, that
according to the
explains
prop.
a lot.
Oh, interesting. According to the prop, the set designers, it was a good ship, perhaps the best and certainly the biggest exterior set for an alien ship featured in the series. As for the fellow who imitated Charles Lawton badly, Ronald Long was cast in the role of Admiral Zark. He was 55 and was paid $1,250 for his over-the-top, one-note portrayal. Long was born in England, so the British accent was not faked. He immigrated to the U.S. during World War II when he was 30. He was often tapped to play roles such as the one seen here. He played the Archbishop of Canterbury on a 1947 TV play called Richard of Bordeaux, the Prime Minister in another television plays 1952's The Face of Spain, Captain Rain in a 1958 episode of the U.S. Steel Hour. So it's got a big list of all the, he did Alfred Hitchcock, Alice in Wonderland, The Time Tunnel, of course, Land of the Giants. Here it is, that's right. Other baby boomers will smile remembering him.
With
sorry.
such a long
Henry
list of
VIII.
performances, what the heck happened here?
Yeah, I know exactly right. He was Henry VIII on the Bewitched episode. That's what I just came across in a two-part episode. And that is the episode Santa Comes to Visit and Stays and Stays.
So you're saying he was doing an impersonation of somebody?
An actor named Charles Lawton from an old movie, black and white, yes.
Yeah. And I want to say welcome to Pickles.
Hello, LDG, good to see you.
Hi, LDG.
LDG.
And it looks like Snort the Poopus is heading out soon. He says, "I can't be here long. The bear bed is calling soon."
Sweet dreams.
For Mutiny and in Space, Jonathan Harris and Billy Mooney worked the most, with 6 days each in front of the camera. Bob May had 5. Ronald Long was on set for 4 days, as were Guy Waynes and Mark Goddard. June, which is no news here, June Lockhart and Andrew Cartwright were only needed for 3 days each, and Mark Christian had only 1 day on the production schedule. So poor Judy got only 1 day, of course.
She just had to rub those tubes for no reason.
Oh, that's right, the tubes.
Well, I guess you got to keep them shiny, right, Jill?
Maybe
Yeah,
that's
but okay, it's fine and everything that Judy and Marine need to clean the cryotubes, but why are they cleaning only the same spot over and over?
Bad direction.
It's like a kid, like the kids that when they're getting punished, and they're told to go, they're handing a mop and bucket. They just sit there and wipe the same spot over and over again because they don't want to do it.
right, because I don't want to be doing it. It's like they ask the director, okay, what am I supposed to do? What's my motivation? What do I do with my character? Well, just go over there and wipe down the cryotube. Well, what do you mean? Well, just wipe. Doesn't matter. Just clean.
Yeah, it was a very stubborn stain.
Yeah, and they just stay in the same spot. Just clean that.
Well,
Yeah, well,
maybe
okay. It was a stubborn stain. That's the explanation.
maybe Smith had scuffed a mark on certain spots, and they had to like try and polish them out. Maybe.
Okay.
You think it'd make him clean it?
There's a couple.
Well, those scuff marks make all the difference in performance of those machines.
That could be crucial. Yeah, you never know, right?
Right, because when they need to freeze Dr. Smith, they gotta have.
Yeah, and you never know when you're gonna need those things.
I think we're being far more creative than Peter was actually writing the episode.
So a couple of notes that I had before we get further is that there is at least some literary reference in this episode. They say the best laid plans of mice and Smith. That's a line from The Robot, I think. Is a reference to this 1785 poem To a Mouse on Turning Her Up in Her Nest with the Plow by Robert Burns.
That is a very well-known line, actually. Thanks for remembering that, Jill. I had forgotten that because it's been a while since I watched it, but
Me too, but I take notes, so I guess.
Oh, yeah, you're meticulous. You're meticulous, yes. But thank you. That was cool. I had forgotten. That is a great line. I mean, I think a lot of people have heard that line actually over the years.
One other thing that's kind of weird is Dr. Smith says that betting is vulgar, but in one of the previous episodes there was a giant gambling machine, so he didn't have a problem with it then. But I guess that makes sense for him to contradict.
But does he say that only?
But depending on who's writing the episode.
Exactly. Well, I do have to step away for a little bit. I've been requested by my daughter, so I'll be back in a few minutes.
Go for it.
And hello to Jim's Landscape. Hi.
Hi, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
And I want to good to see you, Jim. I want to share a image really quick. This is an image of the actor Ronald Long, the one that we're watching here, play Captain Zoc. I look at the name. But here he is from one of my favorite episodes of Get Smart. I don't know if any of you guys remember Get Smart, you old fogies like me, but this.
Oh, I watched it every week. I used to go down to the Sears store because they had color TVs and we were still black and white every Friday night, so I could watch Get Smart in color. Pop, that's how much I love Get Smart.
Yeah, and this was his Ironside parody character. So this is from the first season. Ronald Long as Leadside, as the title character of the 90th season episode of Get Smart. So he was parodying Ironside.
That's excellent. I'd forgotten all about that, but that's cool. Leadside, yeah, that's cool. I remember Leadside now.
Right. And a side note, there was a 1974 movie called Murder Can Hurt You. That was narrated by Don Adams and it had a bunch of comedians parodying television detectives. And that one had Victor Buono parodying Ironside, but in there they called him Lead Bottom.
I remember that too, Lead Bottom, yep.
Yep, I think they only broadcast that once. But anyway, enough of that. Back to Jill's magnificent slides. There we go. Mutiny in space. So we are going to get the abduction scene where I'm sure none of us will be surprised when Will, Dr. Smith, and the robot end up aboard this captain's ship. At this point in the second season, by the way, 20th Century Fox had mandated a budget cap on each episode, and they were to be allotted 156,739. However, for Mutiny in Space, Williams self-authorized extra money, bringing the budget up to 159,497. So almost an additional $3,000 was this episode.
And back then, that would make a difference, wouldn't it, Pop? Like 3,000 was quite a bit of money in those days.
Well,
Yes.
what year was this?
66.
Yeah, that would be approximately $29,000.
That's a big difference.
Well,
So
William
if you
Self,
put 29,000 now, 3,000 then.
yeah, William Self, he was a producer on the show, if I remember correctly.
Yes, producer.
Yeah, because I remember him in the end credits of every episode when I watched it, and that's good. I love that a producer cared enough about the quality of the show he was producing to actually kick in a bit of cash. That's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be scanning through this chapter to see if we can figure out where the money was. I'm wondering if it was delayed filming. I know they said that cast and crew had Thursday off for Thanksgiving, so there is at least one day they missed for shooting.
Oh. I wonder if any money went to the space ship of our alien captain, because I don't remember ever seeing that spaceship in a previous episode at all. Like, it looked like something we hadn't seen before.
I think when they show the exterior, I don't know if they've done that yet here on the stream tonight, but I think we've seen the exterior before. It's only a section of a ship, if I remember right. I don't think they show the entire ship in full view.
Yeah, I just didn't recognize it from any previous episodes. I'm sure once we get to it, and maybe Jill will have some information about it. I wouldn't be surprised, as I know she does her homework pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll be able to tell by watching this. Little kids probably loved it. They probably, when you're a little kid and you dream of being a pirate, it was probably a blast to watch. But it is more of a chore, I guess, for us older adults.
Yeah, I'll get to it when I give my rating. I don't want to be, a downer early on here. So, but yeah, it was a little bit of a challenge.
I'm going to zoom in so I can see these. There we go. Here's where I was talking about Dr. Finn is off limits, so he's being ostracized. So naughty Dr. Smith for messing with the weather equipment and their chemicals.
That was the best part of the episode, I thought. The way the family totally ostracized him by not speaking to him at all. Like, even Will didn't want to talk to him, which really kind of surprised me. Because Will usually, would, right? But that was probably the highlight of the episode, actually, for me, Pop.
Yep,
I've never seen Don look like he really loves and appreciates John in that way. Like, when John said that Dr. Smith can stay out until it really rains.
That's amazing. I hear your voice, Jill, but it says you're away.
I know. I am away.
Okay.
Well, if you're around here, you wouldn't be staying outside too long. Every one of our fields here is flooded.
So how do those baseball-sized hailstones work out there, Gorilla?
Oh, they missed us.
Good thing. That could do a lot of damage.
So you've got all that water out there plus the heat, huh?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a bad crop here because I was been completely devastated by storms here and around the southern half of Minnesota here. has all been flooded out.
So humidity,
Oh yeah,
mosquitoes, and all that.
humidity's been up. I haven't had much for mosquitoes, but having a lot of gnats.
Oh yeah, those are a pain in the butt.
Yeah, we don't have gnats here, but don't they bite, those little buggers?
Yeah. Well, the
Oh,
worst ones are the no-see-ums.
oh yeah, I heard those are really bad. We don't
Yeah,
have those either, thank
because
goodness.
you can't even see them to get the satisfaction of smacking them.
Ouch.
You could build traps to get rid of them. They're attracted to vinegar and
Or
Yeah,
apple
but
yeah.
cider
they're
vinegar and sugar, I think, right? Yeah, I was reading something about that.
then I throw
Yeah,
out my
that's
vinegar.
right. Yeah, I had an outbreak of those little veggie flies. What are they called? The flies that love
Fruit flies.
vegetables, fruit flies. So I got the apple cider vinegar at the store and put out some dishes of that, and they were all happily drowning themselves after a while, which was very nice.
If that
Yeah,
doesn't work, make a funnel, because then when they get in there, they can't fly back out.
I did actually try that. I
That's
did
a good
put a
idea.
few, and that actually worked well too. But you know the weird thing, Jill, I would just put out a dish, a little, you get the chip dip, like one of those little plastic. I would put some in that, and they'd still drown. So I tried both. I mean, I was desperate because I wanted to get rid of the little guys, right?
And apple cider vinegar is good to have around the house for many reasons.
It is healthy to drink once in a while too. It's good for the throat, I hear.
Yeah, I use it like if I'm going to make green beans or spinach for dinner. That's what I use. That's my go-to main ingredient.
Oh, okay.
Where?
Where?
Anyhow, Dr. Smith here, huh?
Yeah,
Well, after Dr. Smith.
he's apparently doing a poor job of caulking.
Yeah. Then we got Admiral Redcoat here.
See, there's where we get the exterior of the admiral's ship. So we don't see the entire thing, but we see a part of it.
Yeah, I was wanted to ask Jill. Have you ever seen? Have we had this in a previous episode, Jill? Do you remember this ship at all? Because I'm baffled. I couldn't remember it at all.
Is it an old ship redressed?
That's what I was
I'm
trying
sure
to figure
it
out.
is. Yeah, I'm sure it is. Because I was reading at the beginning how they were looking at ways to redress props and reuse sets and stock footage. So yeah, we're going to start seeing a lot of that. That mandate must have came down when the Fox mandate came down about spending less money. It must have a note must have been passed around to all the different TV productions saying, "All right, everybody, budget's being cut. Start using more use of props, stock footage, stuff like that."
Yeah, and then Pop mentioned, Jill, that William Self, the producer, coughed up like 3,000 for this episode just to help out with the production. So I was speculating, could some of that money gone for the alien spaceship here behind Smith and the robot? Because I don't remember this ship at all.
Possible.
I was just guessing,
Good
right?
question.
But I don't know.
It doesn't look like $3,000 worth of money, though. I don't know.
No,
Because that gorilla said that's how much did you say it is now, gorilla?
29.
Today's money?
29.
I don't know if it looks that elaborate. Could be possible.
could be just part of that money, though, right? It doesn't
Now
have to
that's
be the whole amount.
that outside seems familiar. The inside didn't.
Well, notice the size differential, but also between the outside and the inside. So I think we're getting into the TARDIS here.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it.
Yes,
But
TARDIS,
this isn't the
exactly.
first time we've had a device that, when you go on the inside, it's a lot bigger. And so that's
Definitely.
been done. And Will thinks that Smith did a great caulking job, but really it was Admiral Zark who did it.
But of course, Smith is more than willing to take on credit for it.
But yeah, but I don't know why everyone thinks that. Why is Dr. Smith so incompetent when he's actually he was established as almost kind of like an electrical engineer earlier in the series, and now he can't do anything.
Yeah, he was even the one giving them exams on the Alpha mission control. When they're at mission control, he was the one giving them all exams and giving them the okay to fly their mission and all that stuff.
And he rebuilt
Maybe he was.
the robot.
Go ahead. Yes.
He rebuilt the robot too.
Maybe by the time, maybe something that may have happened off screen. By the time we saw him giving the Robinsons examination in that very first episode, maybe that was the bad guy character who had already sabotaged and replaced identities with whoever their real doctor was. Because we know at some point he did sabotage in order to get on that ship. So that might explain why he was in both places, both in the examining room and aboard the Jupiter too. I don't know. That's just,
Well,
I guess, if
my
I take canon.
my theory is, I mean, Smith in the early episodes, he was conniving, he was smart, he was obviously Dr. Smith with some kind of doctorate, right, in engineering or something. So he was like a highly skilled character and quite a, nasty, kind of evil character as well, because, he did want to do them in right early on. And then it seems like once the producers, once Irwin Allen and the writers realized they could get more mileage out of, humanizing him, and I guess, he wanted, obviously, he didn't want to remain that because he thought he'd be, they'd probably kill him off after 5 or 6 episodes.
Exactly.
So, so that's when everything, flipped upside down and started to change, right?
Well,
But
yeah,
by
right.
season two,
Right. It was him starting to act more goofy because he wanted more role. He wanted more lines.
yeah,
And remember, the audience loved it. They got letters saying that the people enjoyed it. And Irwin Allen got those letters, and he called Jonathan Harris to his office and said, "Do more."
yeah, they
So
wanted
they
to,
liked it. Yeah.
yeah, they wanted to lighten it up, right, for the kids, and make it more, lighthearted. Not have an evil guy, menacing people, and I mean, I guess don't forget we had the Batman effect happening in season 2 as well,
Yes.
so that didn't help.
No, I think what
Of
happened.
course,
Right,
his changing character happened well before season 2, because I think the one where he took apart all the guns and couldn't put them back together happened in season 1. So it was a thing that was building that was going to happen, and
Oh yeah,
got
there were
exaggerated.
episode moments in season 1, sure, Jill. I agree. But I think he got full blown goofy kind of in season 2. At least for me, I don't know. Because he
Season
got
2 is a
downright.
cartoon.
I mean, Smith got to be well. Remember that episode where I wanted him dressed in the clown suit, and I was disappointed because he does seem like a clown, literally at times. So yeah. Anyway, what were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off, Jill. Sorry.
You didn't cut me off at all.
Oh,
No, it is season 2 is a cartoon. You're right.
I think what happened was he started out serious. He started hamming it up with the camera. They liked it. Allen said, "Do more," and then I think the writers it kind of helped with the writers because it allowed them to be lazier with the writing, and his characters got more silly and more over the top. There's a better view of the ship.
I'll be right back.
Hey, and Eric's is in the ship.
Oh, there's Alex. Welcome. So we know the ship has at least 2 levels. Still doesn't look very big, wide, or deep, I guess. But suspend your imagination when you're a kid.
It sounds like an escape pod.
It does, and once again, of course, it looks like a junk pile.
it's a very junky looking ship, I gotta say. Like, a lot
Well,
of ships have looked better than this one.
well, they had to save money, so they went and gathered up a bunch of sheet metal laying around the studio.
It looks like it. I'm guessing they just found remnants from other productions
Yeah,
previously and kind of cobbled it
Do that.
together, kind of thing.
I'll be right back.
Once again, though, Will's been kind of written as stupid in this episode, isn't he? Because he goes and crawls right into the spacecraft Like, Will would never have done that in season 1, I don't think.
Wouldn't he have though? Wouldn't he have?
I don't think Will was written a lot more intelligent, I think, earlier on, because some of these episodes lately, girl, he's a bit of a dummy, actually, isn't he? Like, he doesn't seem to have any caution at all. He just says, "Oh well, I'll crawl in some spacecraft. I have no idea,
Hey,
if it's going to be good or bad."
hey, I think my Dr. Smith is really Will Robinson theory as marriage here.
I would definitely try and develop that theory, Gorilla, because that's got potential, I must say.
Why develop it when it's true?
If you can find even more, clauses to make it a stronger argument, then we might actually, start to consider it more.
At least we're getting a lot of good views of the ship. So they did spend the time putting it together. I give them credit for that.
Oh yeah, the interior is quite elaborate, actually, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is a good thing they did that, because I know for as a little kid it kept our eyes busy, because the episode relatively moves slow when you think about it. It's mostly talking heads. So it's kind of that elaborate set there that kind of kept us entertained and made time fly faster than it actually did, at least in my opinion. And
I
of
think
course,
you're right.
yeah, and the guy's performance, Admiral Zach.
I found
So
it
Will's just
repetitious.
doing what? Oh, sorry.
No, I just want to say I found the episode repetitious too, because it seemed like Zark's interactions with Will and Smith often kind of got repeated, at least several times over during the episode.
Oh
Anyway,
yeah.
sorry, Jill. Go ahead.
Yep.
You didn't finish your thought there, Jill? Please go.
Oh yeah, and so Will just does whatever the alien tells him to do, also, and until he gets a chance to run away.
Well, that's what I mentioned just a little while ago, Jill. Was they've kind of written, Will as kind of a dummy again in this episode? It seems to me, unfortunately, because Will would have been a lot more cautious earlier in the series, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He had a sense of adventure, and so sometimes that would get him into trouble. But in this case, this is a complete lack of sensing any kind of danger at all.
Danger.
Well, and the robot did wave his arms around and say danger. So, and Will still wasn't listening.
Yes, at least we got that out of it.
Hey, did Will get an Eric's tattoo on his cheek there?
Hey, I gotta get a tattoo of something.
Yeah, just in case anybody doesn't know it.
You don't quote it for Mr. Tito. Yes, Eric's is a big help.
Oh, gee, I love the cuckoo clock. This is weird.
You know what would make that scene a whole lot better? If that cuckoo clock would have gone off and he just walked over and just chopped the head off of that thing with the sword.
That's one way to put it, I guess. It might have been a little violent for 60s TV, though. I don't know if the network would have liked that.
It's a toy.
Couldn't do it in Family Hour.
I don't think it matters. Yeah, I don't think that would matter. I think that would still look too. I mean, otherwise we have seen that in many episodes if that was the case. They would have done that with monsters and everything else. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
And here's, of course, that same old trope of nobody believing Will.
Of course.
Even though weird stuff always happens.
And because Will has reported weird stuff probably dozens of times before, they still don't believe him.
That's correct.
And for once, Don does something stupid too. He just leaves the propulsion unit there as a prank. Like, oh, I know Smith can't install this. I'm gonna leave
Right.
this right here.
Tee that'll get him.
That who knows? Maybe
Go ahead,
Doctor
Gorilla.
Smith would be more confident than what he always leads on to be. Because if Doctor Smith really wants something, he can get it done.
That's the problem with this episode, though, is that Smith actually doesn't really want to leave to Earth on the ship at all in this episode. So the motivations are very strange. Normally, Smith would jump at the chance of returning to Earth, so he would be trying to get this together. But
Yeah,
now he's just
normally.
instead in this episode, he's just trying to fish for sympathy from the family
Yes.
Well, the
because
thing, yeah. Sorry, Joe. The thing too in this scene is the propulsion unit is right there. It's ready to be installed, so Smith could theoretically fly back to Earth if he wasn't too lazy to do his usual nothing. And the captain even has to order him eventually to install the propulsion unit, even though Smith seems reluctant to climb up and actually do any labor. And I would think he would be jumping for joy to climb into the ship and install that if he could get off the planet back to Earth, right?
You would
exactly,
think.
it's not weird for him. It's not weird for him to want pity, but it is weird that he isn't doing everything he can to leave.
Yeah, he's actually reluctant to even install it, which I thought was very weird. That's a nice little sarcastic note. Compliments of.
Yeah, and he thought it was Will, but nope, it's John's handwriting.
And here comes our captain again. Admiral, whatever.
Well, you call him a captain, he'll
Captain,
smack
Admiral, I
you.
don't. It doesn't matter to me at this point.
So why do you keep calling him? What do you call him? Sweet something legs.
'Cause he's
Spindle
crazy.
legs. Spindle legs.
Yeah.
Well, Spindle Legs was a guy that had mutinied against him, and he wanted to terminate him.
No, that's a different name. That was
No, I think he wanted to kill Spindle Legs. He threatens to
Oh,
kill
the
Smith
name
a
of
few
the
times.
guy who did mutiny is a different name. Kid now.
yeah.
Kidno.
okay.
Right,
Yeah,
the kid
Kidno.
was someone named Kidno, but he calls
right.
Dr. Smith Spindle
Okay.
Leg.
Yeah.
Okay, I
And
forgot.
and welcome to
Well, it's a humor. It's insulting Dr. Smith's legs. Do any of you guys know what a spindle is?
it makes a cotton into yarn, ain't it?
Well, I'll give you. Has anybody seen a sewing machine, right?
My mother used to
A
have an old
spindle,
singer, and she'd put the little thread
a
bobbin
spindle
on
of
the
yarn.
spindle.
A
Yeah.
little spindle of yarn. It's like a little wooden dowel, usually kind of skinny. So it's a way of making fun of his legs, and that's why it's called spindle legs, because it's like saying skinny legs.
Okay. I want to say welcome to the Phantom Boomer Explorers and Scotty R37.
Hello, guys.
I found him. Hi, Scotty.
Good to see
Hi,
you all.
Scotty. Hey.
Oh, sure, Jelly. Say hi to Scotty, but not to Boomer.
Of course, I said hi. I did the
No,
hello
I
to
don't
the Phantom
know.
Boomer Explorers.
I don't know.
And PvP. I stand corrected, PvP. I was just glancing through a few things here in this episode, and there are going to be shots of the whole ship, not just the parts of the exterior.
Oh, okay, good. I had forgotten because it's been like 3 weeks or whatever since I watched it.
Same
So my
here,
memory's
yeah.
fading.
Well, I just watched it here a couple hours ago. But
Well, aren't you
Than you
late?
remember.
let's catch up on chats here real quick.
Okay,
Hey, PvP, I think
Hey.
you did good on this one. Read this one.
Oh,
Danger, danger! Arms waving wildly.
yeah. Yeah, well, don't allow yourself to be abducted. He's just like, he just listens to him just because the pirate guy is barking at him, the admiral.
Just because they're writing Will as a dummy now.
Well, that's because he's a reincarnated Dr. Smith. And Father Greg says the robot deserves his own series. He did, I believe it was called Forbidden Planet.
That's Robbie the robot.
He transitioned to Robbie. He had his transition surgery. We're not going to be
Oh
exclusive
no!
here.
Oh no!
And Father Greg says, I think Dr. Smith knows he can't install the unit correctly, but he will never admit it.
Hey, there's pretty much a
No,
shot of the entire
actually,
ship.
Euler Greg, he absolutely admits it. In the episode, he says, they know I can't build it. I know I can't build it. They're going to come and they're going to feel sorry for me that they've left me stranded here. And
Uh,
it's just the strangest thing.
All right. And Sky says, yes, I can hear you, Clem Flandago. All right, that's all the chats.
well, that's pretty close to the entire ship in the picture here.
Yeah, there you go.
Well,
There's a
yes,
good
now
view of it.
now it's about to lunch.
I still think that's a very strange looking spaceship. I gotta say,
Kind of like a coffee pot.
it looks coffee pot. Yeah, that's a good one, Pop.
There also old people a coffee pot.
I'll be right back.
I wouldn't be surprised if it has a little percolator on top.
This little glass dome we can't see, right, with the coffee percolating.
Yes. I never drank coffee myself, but I remember as a kid, those were always on the stove percolating away.
Yeah, I remember my parents had a percolator. Gosh, you don't see those anymore, do you? Gosh.
Oh no, now it's all Keurig and
Keurig, yeah, that's it.
I don't know. I don't understand it. You know, God bless you, coffee drinkers, that you can afford it and you're lucky. But the fact that you can buy those, it's like a dispenser that you pop a certain flavor in there, and it ends up costing you about $5 to $10 a cup. I'm lucky they can afford that such extravagance.
They must be the people that shop at Starbucks or something.
Well, those people
That's
that
what I
go buy 4 lattes and pay $8 a piece for them, and it's like, then they wonder why they have no money.
Yeah, those are exactly. Well, to be honest, those are the ones that they don't. When they consider their budget, they don't consider coffee as part of their budget. They will blindly buy coffee without thinking about it, but they will consciously think of food when they're thinking of their budget. So nasty habits, people tend to do that in their brain. They don't consider it when they say, "Okay, I just got paid today. This is how much money I have to spend. This is what I have to allot to spend on this and this and this and this." They never consider their bad habits, their addictions. They never, ever, ever include their addictions. Like my mom, I remember when she used to we didn't have a lot of money, we were poor. But the first thing that had to be purchased when she got paid was her cigarettes. And there was many, many times where because of that, we were eating ramen noodles or bologna or barely anything at all. But people with habits don't consider that as part of their expenses. That's just how it is. Coffee and cigarettes. But you're right. People go to Starbucks, they'll buy the $10 of coffee, and then they'll complain why they're broke all the time.
And the thing is, I haven't gone to Starbucks in probably 20 or 30 years because I find their coffee actually bitter. Like I don't even like the taste of the stuff, right? And then they charge you an arm and a leg for it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't know because I don't like the taste of coffee. What I don't understand is coffee is coffee. I mean, if you don't like the taste of it, why dump all that stuff in it and pay extra?
Yeah, I don't drink coffee either, Pop. Like I'm a tea guy. I'll just have a cup of tea in the morning and I'm good for the day, kind of thing, right?
Yep, same here.
Because I can buy a whole box of tea bags for like not that much, and I got enough tea to last for months, right? Once I buy a box full.
Yeah, what I do is I buy tea, and then I'll cook it to where it's like iced tea with the bags. And then I mix it with fruit juice. That way I don't have to mix it with sugar.
That's a good idea.
It's really good. I'll buy 100% fruit juice like pineapple, orange, whatever they have. And then I mix it 50-50 with tea, and it's delicious.
That's a good idea.
It even smells good, so people smell your breath. They'll even say, well, that smells good. What is that you're drinking? So it's not like, Oh my God, what are you drinking? Or, what'd you have for lunch?
All right. Should we get back on
I was
target
awake for a
here?
bit, but the Keurig isn't
There we
that
are.
expensive. It's about 40 cents per pod.
But you got to
Or
throw
30
those pods
cents.
in the garbage, right, Jill? So they can't be recycled.
It's true. They can't. They
Well, you
can't.
can throw them in
And actually, it is way better to buy your own beans and grind them, because nowadays you might get filler, like wood pulp or something. You don't even know if you're drinking coffee anymore.
Well, Nemesis
Yeah,
Bean got black pepper in his.
Yeah, and Epson Eden had some contamination in his latest purchase, Jill.
Who did? Nemesis of Eden? Oh yeah.
Nemesis,
See, that must be
Yeah.
where I heard it from. We all talk.
Yeah, because he was going to put the stuff in the grinder or whatever, and he noticed, what's this?
And so for me, I dislike the smell of coffee so much that if I just walk down the grocery aisle that has fresh coffee, I get sick to my stomach. I can't do it. I've got to avoid those aisles entirely.
All right.
Hey, I just got to say, does that alien spacecraft look suddenly almost like a Saturn V rocket or something in this?
Well,
That
this
looks
is
completely different.
Right, this is stock footage, and it is completely different than the ship we saw on the ground. So yes.
I had a good chuckle when I saw this, actually, because I was like, well, there's some
Yeah,
stock
we
footage.
should see the coffee pot in space.
That's right. I want to see it percolating up into the atmosphere,
All right. Yeah.
Mom, Dad.
And there goes Penny finally getting a line.
It's about time.
And then probably not believing her.
Oh, they have to believe it because they have a record of it, and they can see
right.
it.
Well, somebody got to work.
But of course, the Admiral has no intention of taking them back. Spoke to it to your mother once a week, like they're already long gone.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to kidnap them.
We get a very weak lesson in astrology here, or astronomy, depending on what it is. I always get those two mixed up. Admiral Zark is sufficiently impressed with your abilities to reward them as they deserve.
Astronomy is the study of science, and astrology is it's where it's more of a kind of a pokey thing of trying to predict, how your future is based on where you were, based what star sign you were born under. But it's also kind of science. It's also where astronomy came from, because the first thing we did was to put pictures in the stars, and then we turned those pictures into the tools that we use to figure out when crops were going to grow and stuff like that, and what things, and I don't know. Astrology gave birth to the science of astronomy, but of course it doesn't make sense to see any Earth constellations from this vantage point when you're not at Earth.
Right, not from here looking up, exactly. This guy is the definition of what we call blowhard.
I almost went to go get some clips of it. You have to hear it to hear how annoying he sounds.
I know
that came to mind. Yes, early in the episode, I thought, does he have to bellow through every single line of dialogue almost?
You're cutting out also, PvP, or is it me?
It's you.
I heard it.
Am I cutting out? Damn.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not cutting out. It's a long needle.
I do have to untangle my cord, though. It is getting tangled again, which is the pain.
See, even Jill's daughter agrees, says you're not cutting out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to untangle the cord. Not tonight, but I'm gonna have to do it sometime this week and check it out.
All right. I have a question. Did Will steal this ship's log? Like, how does this log, Admiral Zark's log, end up with John?
I don't know. I think stupid stuff end up in stupid things.
That's
Like
better.
how does a shoe end up in a refrigerator?
The remote ends up in the refrigerator sometimes.
Yeah, see. So some things are unexplained.
No, they're explainable. They're called children.
You guys go ahead and continue talking when you can. I'm having internet issues.
All right.
Okay.
So Boomer
Yeah,
just
I have no idea how they got the book. I forget because I haven't seen it in 3 weeks. So sorry.
Hey, how dare them? They're flying right through Eric's. But anyhow, Boomer says Starbucks brand is they'll build it for you your however you want it. Yeah. Oh, that's most coffee shops nowadays.
Well, I don't care how they build it for me. If I got to pay $8 for them to build it, I'll just make my own. Thank you very much.
Well, not only that though, but if you like coffee, then why do you add all that junk to cover up the taste?
Oh
Because I'll
yeah.
have whipped cream. I'll have I don't know all the garbage they put. I have a friend who goes in there and he orders like 50 different things on it, and I say, why bother? I mean, if you like coffee, drink coffee. What's the point? You're trying to cover up the taste.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Pop. I'd rather go to a cheap diner and order like a 99-cent cup of coffee that tastes like real coffee than all that jazzed up stuff Starbucks serves. You know what I mean? Just basic, down to earth coffee. But I don't even like coffee, so I'm a tea guy. So
Well,
Well,
for
I like,
some people, it's like a dessert.
but they get them. I want mocha. I want caramel. All that kind of stuff. And it's like,
hey,
my
it's even
God,
worse. It's even
it's
worse at
all kind of.
Christmas. 'Cause at Christmas, they start doing like the candy cane flavors and stuff at Starbucks, right? It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
and I
yuck.
know was popular the pumpkin pie spice or whatever that's
Pumpkin
called.
spice.
Yeah, they probably did that at Thanksgiving. Yeah, they
That's
do it here too.
everywhere. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
everywhere. Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I'm surprised they don't have turkey flavored coffee. Actually,
Oh, that'd be
All right,
interesting.
PvP, you be the first one to try that and tell us how it is.
Or you
I
can
hate
buy.
drinking turkey coffee.
That'd be like chicken and beef. You can buy turkey broth at the store, like when you're doing cooking. So it's not completely out of possibility. It's just it's not coffee per se from the coffee bean. And of course
Oh,
we get one.
also,
Go
I
ahead.
have one question. I know the robot isn't programmed for mutiny, but what about protecting the family? Will is being kidnapped, and that's dangerous for Will's safety. So why isn't that the robot's primary reason for turning against the
Uh,
admiral?
I think the
Just
writers were going for don't think about it.
Yeah, because his main priority, you think about it, his number one priority is to protect the family members.
yeah, exactly. Well, I was guessing, yeah, mutiny and protecting the family, the responsibilities are conflicting. So if he was actually struggling with it, he'd probably have some kind of logic circuit break. Like he should
Instead,
at least be having some kind of meltdown.
right? Instead, it gets to the point where it looks almost like the robot's having fun.
Yeah, the robot is it looks like he's enjoying it. Will actually looks like he's kind of enjoying it too.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. This is an episode where the word logic really does not apply. At least for me, it didn't.
No, the part that broke my brain's coming up.
Oh, okay.
They even talk about that in the book. That you can tell that I mean, it looks silly on film when we watch it, but the cast members that actually did film it had a good time and they were actually having fun filming it. Much to our dismay, I guess.
And here we go with the magnetic drive. flip around the whole episode with a magnetic drive. Wow, that's very
Oh my
convenient.
god. That's some magnet. Oh my gosh.
But here's the thing. They're gonna use that track. What do they call it? A tractor beam or whatever to bring the ship back. But it's like, well, if they're attracting anything that's magnetic, like, wouldn't it be bringing like any kind of asteroid with metal in it back to them? And how can it reach across light years to go get the ship? Because they're long
It
gone by
may
the time to go get it.
it may not be light years away. It may only be a few million miles away, but you're absolutely right. Not only would it bring back other cosmic bodies, but also all the metal that is on the planet, if that magnet is that strong, would be drawn.
What about the robot?
True.
What about the poor robot? Wouldn't he be like, wouldn't he be sucked into the thing too? Like,
Right, they have established that the robot is magnetic. Remember the episode where Doctor Smith's ring, where he used it and he let go of it to test the robot, to test his ring before he took over the navigating device, remember? So they have established that the robot is magnetic, which, when you think about it design wise, is not a good thing.
yeah, there's so many loopholes, plot loopholes in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
But I still find it endearing.
Oh yeah, I kind of do too.
I can still look at. See, the thing is you guys know I'm older than all you guys, but I can still, even at my age, I can still look at this through childish eyes and still enjoy it from that perspective. There are so many things out there that are made for children that are just unwatchable because it insults them. I know this isn't high intelligence here, but I don't know. It's different. I can watch. I've tried going back and watching some older shows from the 60s and 70s that were, quote, designed for kids, and they're unwatchable. They're just no fun at all. But the fact that they made this to appeal to the whole audience and all ages, I think, helps. And by the way, I have to say,
Well,
Doc, it does look ridiculous. That spindle legs.
I'm guessing you guys are giving this one a higher rating than I will.
Yes, I think I will. I am uncharacteristically kind of kind to this one.
Oh,
Even
I
though
can,
we've had almost nothing to say about it, which
oh,
shows how bad it is. I know
the
it's bad.
pain. Oh, the pain.
Oh, the pain! The
Pain.
pain!
The pain.
so basically, the plot is this admiral is searching down Mr. Kid. No, somebody apparently stabbed him in the back and betrayed him at some point in the past. He's using Will, Dr. Smith, and the robot to hunt this man down from all searches of the universe. But all they're doing is going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's the summary of this episode. So
Yeah,
they're,
and
Yeah.
then they turn on
Repetitive.
the magnet and they go backwards.
yes.
Yep, that's what I mentioned earlier. I found this episode incredibly repetitive, scene after scene. They kept doing the same stuff more or less a lot of the time.
Finally do their own mutiny.
Yeah, what's it? Okay,
funny.
Pop, maybe
It's
you can
cute.
explain this, but what's with the gun with like the flared out end there?
The
A
blunderbuss.
musket. That's what they used to use back then. Musket. Those where you had to reload them one at a time with the ball.
Yeah, but the muskets I've seen always had just a straight barrel on them, not
Nope.
not something that looked like a trumpet.
Nope. Some of them had that trumpet in there back in the day.
Wasn't there something called a blunderbuss too that kind of looked like that?
I think so, yeah. And those things would put like a hole in you, a big hole, like a baseball sized hole.
Yeah, because I
Knock
remember
off like your arm. It would like knock your arm off.
they were like a trumpet shape at the end, though. I think I'm not an expert.
Well, it was guns evolving over the eras. Guns they had would look like a trumpet there, and then they eventually evolved. The design of them evolved where they got rid of the flare at the end, and then you got the ones that had the smaller trumpet end, where like you see the classic duel where two people would stand back to back and they pull the old muskets out of the box, then they walk 10 paces and turn around. So those had like a smaller, and then eventually they got rid of the ball end altogether. If that makes any sense.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
we get the rifling technology there, especially around the Civil War time. That's when they got rifling and the repeating rifles.
Well, what it was back in the day, like when we had the muskets, is they all they cared about is getting the ball out and causing as much damage as possible. Aiming, it didn't make any difference. You could close your eyes when you shot them because they were not designed to aim. So once we designed guns to aim and hit a specifical, my mouth, you got a specific thing, and that's when they put the little targeting tip at the top of the barrel. That's when they got rid of the bell. And then that's where you would actually see people hold the gun up to their face and aim it, which you would never ever do that with a musket because it would blow half your face off.
Well, I think the thing too, something like the Civil War, Pop, is they'd line up. They'd line up. Like to us, it looks crazy now, but they'd line up. I guess it was an honorable thing to do then, and you could pretty much just shoot anywhere, and you'd probably hit somebody, right? Because they were
Yeah,
all lined up.
that was more the Revolutionary War. We start,
Oh, I remember
but
seeing Civil War though. They did line up in the Civil War too, did they not?
can I
Somewhat.
finish? But in the Civil War, they still did line up, but not nearly as in the formations that they did during the Civil War. Then
Yeah.
they started taking more cover because we could actually start hitting stuff
Well,
more accurately.
what
But your
happened was
describing is better with the Revolutionary War.
what happened was with the war between the U.S. and Britain, they were trained to shoot, kneel, shoot, kneel. You guys know what I'm talking about. They would kneel, shoot the row behind them. That was considered battling like a man and battling in honor. And then what happened was when they went against us, the Americans, we fought what's called guerrilla style, which was anything up behind a bush, behind a tree, jump out and just bam, bam, bam. They weren't used to that. They thought that was very dishonorable, but that's what won us the war. And by the way, they learned not to fight like that anymore. Because yeah, it may be honorable, but you're not going to win any wars by doing that.
It is interesting how the mores changed, though, isn't it? When you look at the history of war, Pop, because
Yep.
things that were considered honorable, they get well. It's like technology; it gets outmoded, and at a certain point, if you don't adapt and change, you're going to lose,
Yes.
basically.
Right. When the British, when they would shoot, kneel,
I
it was
remember
all
that.
timed. It was all timed by reloading their musket. Shoot,
Yeah.
kneel, reload. Shoot, kneel, reload. Shoot, kneel, reload. That's why they did it like that. Because
Oh
I
yeah,
had to
because the front row would shoot, kneel, and then the second row could shoot over their heads, right? Kind of
correct
thing.
while the first row loads.
Hmm.
I mean,
Exactly, Pop.
on paper it sounds great. It sounds like there's somebody always constantly shooting. But that when you have people like hopping out from behind bushes and just shooting randomly and all that. So yeah, they learned pretty
Oh
quick
yeah.
that wasn't a very good tactic.
Now, guerrilla war would beat that for sure. Yeah.
Meanwhile, back to our bright green. Now is that supposed to be a tractor beam or what was you guys said?
Magnetic thingy.
I mean, magnetic tractor beam. I don't know.
You'd think that when you turned it on, it would just turn around and then go stick on the Jupiter too.
Yeah, exactly. Anything made of metal would be attracted to
Yeah,
it.
don't make
It
much sense. Well, what
yeah,
about the little
it doesn't.
console with all the dials in front of Professor Robinson and Don there? Like, wouldn't that get sucked up to the little green thing?
Of course, but I do appreciate
Yeah.
the fact that we are getting a new prop here. This is a prop that has not been introduced until now, so I do appreciate that. And I love that '60s that red chair. Oh, all the TV shows at the time fit those. I mean, that's the same chairs they used on the Enterprise. They were everywhere.
It's definitely 70s for sure. Yeah.
They had reused props, so
Yep. That's why even now when people, excuse me, when they rebuild, like you guys see these fan productions, and they're going back and rebuilding sets from the original Enterprise TOS. That's why they're able to get their hands on a lot of that stuff because you can still get it if it's so abundant. Oh, go back one frame. Sorry, Joe. One more time. One more in between those two. There. That's that device over on the right hand turn. Remember the Russian roulette device?
Oh, hey, well spotted.
Right, the Russian roulette device. Remember with Dr. Professor Robinson had a fight with that device that would turn, shoot, turn, and shoot. Remember with the weapons on the end? Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, yeah. I really like that episode.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah.
So guest star, Russian roulette machine. That's what I like about Lost in Space. The props are just as much guest stars as the people sometimes.
Well, at least got a nice special effect here with a little magnetic beam or whatever the heck it is.
That's good. They went. And that cost them money back then.
Maybe that was William Self's donation.
Yeah, maybe that was the 3,000 you were talking about.
Could be. You never know.
This is possibly the only time this episode actually made me laugh. It's him trying to eat this bread.
I don't think I've ever been quite that broke, but I might have come close a few times actually, Joel, eating something that bad.
It's funny that right, all the people they encounter on their journeys, excuse me, we're always running around junk piles, eating scraps. That's where they meet people that have everything. But they do. I'm not saying every episode, there are exceptions. Like Ghost Planet, for example, and others. Nothing in the locker for cobwebs, sir. Yep,
His
no
lo-
food.
Yeah, because it's
Somebody ate his cheese.
His larder is not well stocked.
There's that gun you guys were talking about.
Yeah, no, that
Hey,
no,
That's
that
a
one
little
looks
more-
different. That one looks
That
different.
one's a little more modern. That's the one, like I was saying, they used during the duels. And they would take 10 paces. So basically, they've got a few different designs of guns in this episode, ranging from the different eras.
so that's like a flintlock pistol or something, Pop?
Yes, correct.
Look at Smith. That's a great still. Grand theft in space. Ooh.
Well, the other plot is that he just goes increasingly more insane as the episode goes on until he thinks that Smith is Kiddo.
Right.
Yeah, he does. Well, he
He
seems to be
does.
kind of unhinged. Yeah.
But it's kind of inevitable, right? Like maybe he's been chased. Another captain, like from Moby Dick, he's been chasing around his target so long, his prey, that he's gone insane.
Yeah, I think he's space happy by this point, kind of.
I wonder if loneliness would be part of that.
That is a cool gun, though.
Yeah, it looks great. The scene is great. I like the background and everything.
Oh, yeah. If only that would compensate. Oh,
The ship is going out of control, and the robots pull in, having a blast.
Eric's! Oh, no! Oh, my! Oh, he's right in it! Oh, my! Oh, no!
Hey,
Humanity!
you attracted Eric's to this planet.
Never knew he had a magnetic field.
Did I hear right on one of your streams, Jill? Did somebody say that in one of the later Star Trek series they showed a live action Eric's, or no?
And I think that was a fan series, but I don't remember which fan series. Does anybody know?
If not, answer. Oh, by the way, Jill, I saw an invitation for tomorrow. My goodness, what luck! I'm going to try to my best to be there. I will be there no matter what. Okay.
All right.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. Yes, and I do hope we get to talk to a very special guest tomorrow.
Are you finishing
everybody.
continues tomorrow?
No, she's going to have one of the writers of the Tholian web on there. Can you imagine that?
Oh! Wow! Oh, I'll have to miss it. Oh, that's so cool. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jill. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to freak out like that. But
Right,
that's
and
amazing.
I admit I wanted to plug it as much as possible because that's heckin' exciting
Wow.
for all of us Star Trek fans.
All right.
I'm
Talk
very,
about
very jealous. I'll admit that.
Well,
Yeah.
it'd be incredible if she is there.
Yeah.
I have
It-
to call her in the morning to
yeah.
That's
see if she's coming.
amazing.
Talking about PvP freaking out. Should we catch up on the chat?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Shaw says we've PvP. You want to read this one?
We've
Oh,
secretly replaced PvP's fresh ground coffee with the mountain-grown Folgers crystals. Will it be rich enough? Well, I don't drink coffee, so I'm sorry to
that's a
disappoint you.
that's a
Yeah.
reference to the old Folgers coffee crystal commercials. I guess we'll have to ask Mrs. Olson and see what she says.
Oh gosh, I haven't thought of Mrs. Olson in so long. I didn't even put the connection together
right.
there.
All right. Boomer is laughing. Skies is lunchbox. Funk. Comfortable.
Lunchbox bunk.
Lunchbox funk.
I got no idea what Scotty's talking about. I have to be honest here.
All right. And Sky says comfort television totes lovely.
I agree.
And he says that the name of my first album, Finally Their Own Mutiny. And Greg says full power. He says, and also says, wow, cool, Jill. All right, we're all caught up.
Thank you, Gorilla. So here we are, as previously mentioned, planning on their mutiny. So we have Mr. Spindleeggs and Will helping out.
Can somebody pronounce that name for me, please? Because I certainly can't.
Zubin El Ganubi?
Subinoglubi.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, Zubin El Ganubi. Coming up on the port bow, sir.
Zubinel Ganubi. Wow.
Zubinel Ganubi. Oh my gosh, I finally figured it out. Oh, thanks, guys.
A nearby planet dead ahead, sir. And of course, we get there are very few exterior shots of any planets, but I know we do get one where it looks like that they use that prop of the flaming red planet. That's strange. How you remind me of Mr. Kid? No. Of course, now is where his mind's starting to bend over on the deep end. Yeah, so that's where the old muskets.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. That just looked weird to me.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
I always thought that was a blunderbuss, but I could be wrong.
Well, here I can look it up. I know what I forgot to do today.
That's what the pirates use them all the time. If you watch the old Errol Flynn, the old pirate movies, you'll see those all over the place.
Yeah, it's too bad that you couldn't get somebody like Errol Flynn in this. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah, he was far retired at this point.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Buster Crab would have been available.
That could have been cool, actually, but oh well.
Yeah, it might
You'll
have been.
never know.
Yep. I don't even know if he was acting at this point. So here's where the Admiral wants to fire down the Jupiter 2, thinking that they're Mr. Kidno and or the enemy. But Will stops him and says, no, that's my family down there.
Oh, the whale, the robot, and Smith all shaking hands. Wow. I don't remember.
Oh, congratulating each other. Because in their minds, they won their mutiny.
Wow.
Very short-lived that it may have been. And there we go. Just a reverse shot of what we saw before. And he doesn't waste any time. He's gone.
Yeah. But you ever notice that after they take off, the only shots of the outside of the ship that we see are actually in the planet's atmosphere?
Yes. He was in a real big hurry to catch him. So once again, we get an ending that's left open where we have the antagonist off chasing after their, who knows, their prey of many, many decades, and it will be for many, many more. It's not the last time we've seen that on Lost in Space, and we'll definitely see it again.
He's basically chasing after his version of Moby Dick. Was what I
Yep.
gathered.
Yeah, his white whale.
Yeah.
So here we have, well, it looks like we're getting a little bit of drama here. The kids are reading scripts, and Dr. Smith is directing them. I don't know if I want Dr. Smith to be my director.
Oh, sorry guys, I messed up the slides. I'll have to
Oh,
get
no,
it
it's,
back up.
it's
Well, that's a
okay.
good episode, Jill. That's a good one.
It's totally fine.
I think that's one I should watch at Christmas with Dr. Noel.
Noel.
Exactly.
So Jill, are you going to be showing the Tholian web tomorrow?
No, I'm reviewing a Star Trek Continues episode, which is
All
a
right.
sequel. It's a sequel to the Tholian Web, which she also wrote.
Got it.
Wow.
Thank you.
What time you starting? You
Perfect.
starting at 10 Pacific? Just
Yes.
asking. Ooh, I might be able to join for like maybe an hour. Gosh, but you
Well,
probably
do you have any-
you don't want a
Well-
panel anyway. You just want to talk to her, right, or him, or whatever.
Well, with Jill's
Well, if you
instructions
have a
were, if you
question,
have a question for her, throw it in the chat, and then Jill, that way, because there might be a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So if we put our questions in the chat, Jill can, that way she can address each and every one of them.
Okay.
Of course, I'm sure we'll all have a lot of questions that are repetitive.
I'm still working on it, but I want to be able to talk about the episode and ask her questions at the same time. I don't know if
Right.
that's going to be easy. We'll see.
Are you going to have the slides of the episode ready just in case she shows up?
Oh, of course. No, which one? Oh, you mean the Tholian Web?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
And she also wrote for other TV shows like TJ Hooker and some other ones.
Cool.
Well,
Bionic
that opens me up to even more questions.
Yeah, it sounds like you're gonna
Exactly.
need a couple hours at least there, Jill, to cover everything. I'm sure there'll be people wanting to know about TJ Hooker.
Well, that's going to be.
That.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll make her happier to talk about something other than just Star Trek.
Yes, I will be happy if that is the case.
Yeah,
I'm sure she will
because that
too.
lets her know that we are fans and we do recognize her material from other things and other sources. Like the Bionic Woman, I love the Bionic Woman. I've seen every episode more than once. So whatever episode she wrote, I'm sure I saw. It'd be great if it was the one with the fembots. I need to look it up tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, some of us really do like TJ Hooker. It's pretty cool. My second favorite Shatner series after TOS, because it was a lot of fun, that show.
It was. And he did a lot of his own stunts, which they don't do anymore.
Yeah, and he was still in really good shape then too, because he wasn't much older than when he did Trek, right? So he could still.
No, he was simultaneously. He was shooting that simultaneously with Star Trek 2 through like 4 or 5.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah, so
cool.
he was right age.
I did not know that. Wow, that's cool. But yeah, he was still in really good shape back then. So he did a lot. I remember TJ Hooker, he was doing running around a lot of episodes, which was great.
Well, the way you could tell is whenever William Shatner, and at the time he was doing a lot of television appearances, like Battle of the Network Stars and stuff like that, where they'd get TV stars from all the different shows to compete in Olympic events.
Oh, yeah.
And it was funny is William Shatner, every time he appeared, because of contractual, and this is also on TJ Hooker, you go back and watch, and his sideburns or Starfleet regulation cut. Because he had to have it ready because he was always shooting Star Trek.
That's great. I never noticed that. But next time I watch TJ, I'm going to have to definitely make a point of looking for that. That's cool,
just look at sideburns, and it's Captain Kirk sideburns.
That's awesome.
That's what I mentioned previously, I don't know, a few weeks ago. I was such a fan, and that's the sideburns I wore all throughout the late 70s into the 90s. They're very easy to trim, and it was always Starfleet regular. And it got me through the Air Force. They were Air Force regulation, so I never had a complaint when I had my inspections.
That's awesome.
So in now, anyway, back to Lost of Space. We have Dr. Smith who miraculously obtained some magical space gauntlets.
But he does not want once he realizes his trouble, but it's too late.
Yes, and that's a good effect to make it very exciting. Makes us want to come back next week and see what happens.
Oh yeah, it looks like he's getting toasted here. Like, ooh, that's scary, especially for kids. I'd be scared if I was a kid looking at that. I thought we'd get through this episode a little quicker. We must be getting close to 2 hours actually now, which amazes me.
Yeah, we are. And with
Well,
that,
we had a lot of side conversations, like because the episode doesn't give you a whole lot to talk about. It's not really our fault. So we had side conversations, and it was
yeah,
there were good ones though.
right, so nobody's to blame.
I cannot dispute
No,
that
just
at
the
all, Jill.
episode.
No, I was just making an observation. I wasn't trying to be critical or anything of anybody or anything, you know. But
No, you're fine.
Jill has a good point there. I agree with what Jill just said.
And as a reminder, everybody, that I did put a poll in the chat. If you feel up to it, please vote what grade you would give either this episode or our coverage of this episode. Tell us what you think. And I will share the results of that here in a couple of minutes after the panel gives their reviews. So, if I may go clockwise, which I usually do, I'm going to ask Gorilla first. Gorilla, what say you about tonight's episode? And tell us about your channel.
Alrighty. It's one of those I don't know how I feel about this. Like, yeah, I'd probably be more entertained if it was a kid, but it's like we got like an over flamboyant nutcase of an admiral who's dressed up like a redcoat. You know, I don't. They could have made this a great episode by having Will and Dr. Smith protest by throwing a bunch of tea off the ship. But then, you know, a lot of the stuff didn't make sense. That space magnet broke my brain there. But
what space thing? Oh, you mean the charger beam or whatever that was? The magnet?
Yeah, and it's like, I don't even know what to say. There's nothing really to say about this episode. I would give it a C there. A somewhat entertainment. It didn't make me want to just I don't even know. Although and I just got done watching the end of the Star Trek Discovery, so that's really bumping the grade up for this. So I'm gonna give it a C. And as for my channel, Wednesday we are ending season 5 and starting season 6 of Justified. And then for Cringe Doc, it's PvP's pick, and apparently we're watching Freddy Got Fingered there. And then we should have the Waltons. It might be at 7:30 this week. It's the episode where John goes on ditches the family for some reason.
The Departure.
The Departure. It's season 3, episode 12 for review.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to say John goes on a rampage. But that's okay. Go ahead.
No, he ditches the family. He says, "So screw this. I'm out of here," and just leaves the family. And
they've said goodnight to him for the last time.
Oh my goodness, that's
I'll show you good night. Right.
I'll show you good night.
To the moon. Yeah, right to the moon, right?
John Boy goes postal.
But then on Saturday there, if I'm around, we'll watch. We're gonna just do Deep Space Nine. That way, I don't have to think about stuff coming up on Saturdays, so I can go fishing and just go straight to DS9 when I get home.
Sounds good.
After cleaning all my fish, because
good idea.
There, so we're gonna do DS. We're just gonna start with the emissary and go from there. Then I do got a poll for next week's Cinema Sunday in my chat. Right now we are tied with My Cousin Vinny and if I can remember that sequel name for My Cousin Vinny, we'll watch those two. or and
Trial and
social
error.
side. What?
Trial and error.
Trial there. Okay. So make sure to go vote in that poll there, so we don't have to Chicagofy it. All right. And I got a
Great.
bunch of shorts on my channel. Like I almost think those bullheads might have been close to a record if I was taking the time to measure them on
Yeah, just get you.
Saturday.
Yeah, just get you one of those little measuring tapes.
Yeah, I just keep forgetting to pack it. But some of those bullheads were huge that I caught. So
Nice.
just check out the shorts on my channel. Oh, and I got new avatars too. I did new. This is my new official channel avatar right here.
There it is, everybody. Let me hold on. Don't take it off just yet. Here, hold on. Well, that's the biggest little show. Yeah, there it is, everybody. That's Gorilla's new avatar. So if you see that, you know it's Gorilla.
Yeah.
And thank you for being here and helping me out tonight, Gorilla.
Oh man, it's been fun because there's a couple people that the new avatars really throwing them off because they didn't because the avatar change they didn't recognize who it was.
You put clothes on, that's why.
Yeah. Well, at least Cinnabon stopped mistaking me for Germ. So.
No. he had clothes on the previous one, Jill. You might have missed it.
I'm thinking of the original one.
Okay, yeah. Well, that was a while ago. He did a second one before this where he was smoking this. That's the one. That's the one, Jill, right there. That's one I like. That's my favorite.
Yeah, but I screwed up on it and I can't get it made again, so I had to go with the new one.
I still think that's you. That's Gorilla at his light-hearted, friendly, happy self. I don't like the Capone one because I think it makes Gorilla look too serious.
Wait, I'm happy.
You look too serious. Yeah, you look happy-go-lucky there. I like this one, but you look too serious, like Gangster Capone in the new one. I don't know. Just me, but I like this one more.
All right, PvP, your turn.
Well.
Really?
Gosh, I probably am the guy that's gonna ruin the party, but I'm giving this one an F because I hate this episode with a passion. I could not stand the actor. Every single line, almost, I say like 97% of the dialogue lines this guy had to deliver, he was like bellowing loudly, and I just wanted to rip my ears off after a while. I was just like, the character wasn't that good or interesting to begin with, and his delivery, bellowing every line of dialogue, drove me crazy after a while. I just like, please, just let it end. And then, they wrote Will like a goofball. The robot was kind of being stupid. Smith, I don't know what Smith was doing. He wasn't even like Zachary. Like Zachary would usually be plotting and trying to get off the planet and installing the equipment that the Jupiter 2 left for him. But no, he couldn't even do that because I don't know what he was doing. So, oh man.
He was just feeling sorry for himself and hoping other people would feel sorry for him too.
Yeah, but he's done that so many times, right, Jill? It's like, okay, Peter, gee, you pulled an old trope out there. That's fine, but I'm bored. And then of course the lady's got nothing to do but polish a little bit of Jupiter 2, life chambers or whatever the hell you want to call them. Oh man, I don't know. This one for me, this one sucked bad. Probably my least favorite episode, possibly the entire series we watched so far. So that's why I gave this one an F. If I could have given it a P for pain, the pain, I would have given it a P, but I settled with an F, and I just did not like the performance of the guest star. I could not stand him. I mean, we've had other quirky, annoying guest stars, in a few episodes before this, but this guy was over the top. I mean, just way over the top. So I guess that's about it. I don't want to go on and on being negative, but I just hate this episode. And this is probably the worst of the whole series for me so far. So anyway, that's it. I'll pass it on to Jill.
All right, thank you, PvP.
You're welcome.
Okay, and we'll see you, Jill. What's your opinion about this episode? Jill may have stepped away for a moment, so I'll give my review.
Well,
there's a little drama
Oh,
with the
there is.
keyboard and everything.
I was gonna say, otherwise I could catch up on chat if we're waiting on Jill.
No, I'll just go ahead. So, man, I feel a bit like you, Gorillas, that this is kind of it hangs in a balance from being absolutely too silly, but also it's a little bit fun. I do agree that the pirate is, or the admiral, is totally obnoxious, but I kind of like some of the weird, strange things that also happen. And I agree with you about the magnetic device. That's weird. The sails are inside the ship. They look cool, but wouldn't I like the idea of having kind of like a real looking like a navy that looks like regular ships, but maybe they could have had some sun sails that would
Yes,
have made a little more sense on the outside of the ship.
right. Not very fast, but it would make sense.
Or at least have like sun sails with thruster pack or something.
Yeah, and also the cannons, I know they are on the outside of the ship, but it feels like they're on, they're inside somewhere. So I would have liked a bit of a background, a space background every once in a while, showing the ship and space.
And then firing. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Mhm. And then, like Pop said earlier, it's like a TARDIS, and Will and Will and the robot, they just listen and follow the admiral's orders just because. And it's kind of unbelievable for both characters to be so willing to do that, and even the robot um listening to the orders, even when it came to being on the planet, almost shooting at the planet. So possibly the worst part is that they let the admiral take their propulsion unit when that was never the intention. Don just lost a completely invaluable backup system forever. He was trying to play a prank on Smith and it backfired horribly. I'm sorry. And
That's a good point.
making him as irresponsible as Smith is. And I think maybe Smith catches on, like, he rubs off on others. I
Possibly.
would I would think they would have tried to get the propulsion unit back, except that the admiral has to leave, so they have to let him have it. How many of those things do they have laying around?
Exactly. Well, they've given them away valuable parts before. We wondered that. Remember
Yeah,
in the early episodes in season one where they gave away a valuable part of their robot?
it's pretty outrageous. I give it a C minus. I can't quite go with the D because I did have a little bit of fun. It was entertaining.
Very cool. And would you like to tell us about your channel?
Sure, my channel is the same as my name, Antiderivative Jill. I like to talk about science fiction. Tomorrow I will talk about Star Trek Continues, and I've got a couple of episodes for that going. What are the names of those episodes? Goodness gracious, I've got to help with something in the background.
That's okay.
But gosh, let me. What are those? I'm just looking for the names of those episodes. And I don't mean to. I'm
Plus,
sorry. I'm usually more prepared, but
no, go ahead, Jill.
I
Do your
forgot
thing.
to.
I want to add to Jill also while she's looking that up. She has other shorts that she produces on her channel that are terrific. She's an excellent Star Trek fan, and it definitely shows. She gets some amazing guests and a lot of inside knowledge on the show. She also has a gaming stream that she'll do sometimes. You can catch her late at night. Her and Scotty, and you can watch along as they play different games. They were just playing on a Leisure Suit Larry just a couple weeks ago, and those are excuse me, those are always fun to watch as well.
Thank you very
So
much.
on top of that, My pleasure.
The episodes are still Treads the Shadow and also there's another episode. And What Ships Are For. And with that, I've got to go help with something in the household. I will be back.
Thank you, Jill.
Welcome.
I'm going to give this episode a C. I'm stuck in the middle between an A and an F because, pardon me, an F because it was silly, made no sense, had logic holes that you could fly the Enterprise through. But on the A, on the upper side of the spectrum, I can remember the pleasure it gave me as a really young kid. I haven't forgotten that. Yes, it's a particularly bad episode now. It's definitely a Peter Packer episode. I was happy to see some prop porn. So we got some props from previous episodes, and we were introduced some new ones, which I always enjoyed, even as a kid. I love watching all the new props come up and make their guest appearances. Yes, the guy playing Admiral Zark or whatever his name was, very loud and boisterous. But I don't know why, but I picture the director saying louder, more, more, more. Maybe you like to throw in, maybe to like to liven up the episode, because maybe there was points when they were shooting, and the actor, Mr. Long, may sit down and go, "Yes, Mr. Kid, now, yes, yes," and the director would stand up and say, "No, louder, more, 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 more." Maybe to kind of oomph, as like a little, excitement to the episode. I don't know. But I'm just saying that in defense of the actor, he's more over the top than he is in the other things I've seen him in. So I think that might have been an artistic choice on behalf of the director as well. So I'm going to give it a solid C. I enjoyed it. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't the best, but I enjoyed it. I had fun. And as far as my channel, tomorrow we're going to hopefully, if my internet holds up, I've been having internet issues lately, but hopefully we can be there tomorrow night for another Hammer horror classic, the horror of Dracula. And then Wednesday night I'll be back with my good friend Gorilla's Random Thoughts. We'll be back with 2 more episodes of season 3 of Gilligan's Island. We are closing in on the end of the series, and then we will cover the reunion movies as well as behind the scenes interviews and trivia on the show and things like that when that is done. So join us Wednesday if you're able to. And also another thing, if Saturday night, I usually have a stream called Rumblings from the Lab, which is open topic, open mic. Everyone's invited to talk about whatever they want. But Saturday night is when I've been having the most internet issues, because apparently I found out that I live in a small town and all of our entire town is on one internet line. So I've noticed that my internet's the worst on Friday and Saturday nights. But hopefully if it does not hold up for Saturday night's Rumblings from the Lab, I'm not going to continue this habit. So if what happens is Saturday, if the internet is so bad that I can't host a stream, I'm going to reschedule the Rumblings from the Lab for a weeknight, because like tonight, like this is Monday, it seems to be working better than it did last week. So that's what I'll do. If it interferes with my streams, I'll end up what's the word I'm looking for? Shuffling them around and try to get nights where we can get a little bit better band signal and hopefully not step on too many toes of other people that are out there streaming. And now I want to say thank you to everybody on the panel for being here, helping me out with your input and your insight. And PvP, you don't have to apologize for what score you give the episode. That's what we're here for, is to be totally honest. I prefer honesty over someone just trying to give us an echo chamber. So it makes it far more interesting.
Thanks, Pop. I just watched it and What killed it for me was the guest star. Like I just did not like the bellowing, constant, loud bellowing. Almost every. I mean, there was a few lines where he didn't bellow, but I'd say 97% of the time he did, and oh, that just
Yeah.
sank it for me. And on top of that, there was the plot inconsistencies that you guys mentioned
Right.
previously.
But I know
You know.
I'm no doctor, but my prescription for you, PvP, is to go back, watch the Get Smart episode with him as lead side, and I think that will lighten your. I think it'll kind of. You won't hate him for the actor so much. You'll realize that.
No, I didn't hate
The,
him. It was his performance I hated, Bob.
yeah, it was the directing style, right?
Yeah, it could be the director. I think you could have a very valid point there, actually. Yeah.
I wish I could cover of all shows. My God, I wish I could cover Get Smart on here. That show is amazingly funny, and even more so now. My God,
It is a great show. Yeah.
it is. I can't recommend it enough. Did you have something you want to add, Gorilla?
I was just going to see if you wanted us to catch up on the chat here. We got.
I was going to say that. Yes, thank you.
All right, we got our turquoise waving hands from Taylor Swift. Then he said TJ Hooker FTW LOL. What's that? Whatever that means.
FTW for the win? I'm not sure.
That would make sense for the win.
And oh, Jill's not here. God, he says,
No, Jill, just wait for a moment. Hopefully,
right.
Jill can come back before she signs off for the night.
Yeah, the John Boy went on a rampage. No, John's the one going on the rampage, not John Boy.
Right. You know, like the Brady Bunch Lawnmower Massacre, except this time with the Waltons.
They said nothing worse than a dirty fish.
Well, Gorilla should know all about that, eh, Gorilla?
What?
Dirty fish?
Mm.
You're a fishing expert, are you not?
Yeah, I go for the bullheads that are there, but that's just because they're easy to catch.
What do you like, Gorilla? What do you like for a side dish to go with the fish?
I don't know. I just cooked up 4 of them. I was full, so.
Do you like rice, potatoes?
Like usually people make like French.
No, you
like potato chips.
I'm asking.
No, I don't. I just eat fish. Then I'll cook up like 4 fish. Then I'm full. So.
Okay, gotcha. I was gonna say maybe one of these days we can have dinner. You supply the fish, and I'll supply the potatoes or rice or whatever.
Well, most people do like potato chips. That's where you get your fish and chips.
Well, chips are usually French fries.
Yeah, here we have fish and chips. It's like fried fish and French fries on the side.
Yeah. Dang, British changed the language on us. Okay, French fries.
Yeah, chips. Right. They're usually like the steak fries, if I remember right. Right, PvP?
Yeah.
Well, they're just like fries. I don't know how to describe it. They're like potatoes and they're
different shapes, right?
Well, when we did the all-you-can-eat fish on Mondays at the restaurant I worked in, it was baked potato, coleslaw, and fish.
Yeah, we had a restaurant that was all you can eat. It was great, like 20 Canadian. You could stuff your face as long as you could sit there. I usually couldn't get through 2 platefuls though, and I was done. But still, that was not a bad deal because fish can be fried fish can be very expensive at a lot of places. So it was pretty good. But they went out of business because some big developer bought out the whole mall and decided to tear it down. And they had to move, but they couldn't move, and then they went out of business. So yeah,
that's how usually we lost so many good things because of companies taking over. Did you guys hear that there was apparently there is a deal between Paramount and Sundance?
I didn't hear
it. Or is it Skydance?
Skydance.
I didn't hear about it. Tell me.
It's official. I guess Paramount and Skydance. Now,
they did.
Now,
what?
If you guys are hoping that's going to help Star Trek, kiss your hopes goodbye because Skydance are the ones that have been producing the J.J. Abrams versions of Star Trek. So all that means is more of the same.
So they're not going to kick out Secret Hideout or nothing?
No, it's going to be more of the same.
All right.
So
Oh.
apparently it wasn't so much of a Skydance buying Paramount, but apparently it's a merger. From what I'm hearing, that's how they were legally able to get past it. When Sony wanted to buy it, they were rejected because they were threatened there was a monopolization. So in order for this to happen, it took a smaller studio, which is Skydance, to merge with Paramount.
So instead of a hostile takeover, it was like just a simple merger kind of scenario.
Like an agreement, yeah, we both suck, let's just shake hands.
Well, if they don't get their act together and do some good Trek, I still don't think us fans are going to be watching it. So
they don't care. According to them, we're already dead. We're already dead. They don't care about us.
Oh gosh. Oh man.
Okay, is there anything anybody of you guys want to add before we close this up? And I'm going to try to show the preview for next week. I know last time I tried, my bandwidth was really crappy and I couldn't, but I'm going to try again tonight.
Yeah, lots of chats here that just came in suddenly here.
Thank you, Gorilla.
All right. Greg says catfish are jumping, Gorilla. No, catfish weren't jumping, but man, that place was overran with carpet, all that there because it's so flooded. The creek was about 3 times wider than it normally is. I lost all my markers.
Don't fall in the creek, Gorilla.
Oh, I was standing right in it.
That's great for fishing, yeah.
Yeah.
Must be shallow.
Dang, Gorilla on his pole. Oh my!
That's a good one.
And the sequel to My Cousin Vinny was a straight to video picture called "My Brother-in-Law's Ex-Roommate Steve." That sounds like a definite cringe test.
It's actually called Trial and Error, and it's not a bad movie. It's not as good or memorable. Obviously, nobody's heard of it, but me, I'm going to brought it up and told Gorilla about it. But it's called Trial and Error with Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
And the guy that was fired from Seinfeld, whatever his name is.
Yeah. And Oiler Greg says, OG Gorilla, original Gorilla. And then, welcome to Canadian Spider-Man. Welcome.
Hey, Spidey, hail. Hope you're doing well. I've been enjoying your videos, sir.
Yeah,
I wish I could travel along with you.
Yeah. And apparently he's getting rain.
Oh, nice.
Then apparently Scotty's putting Harlem Globetrotters. Open panel, open mic, pants optional.
That is true.
I don't have pants on. I got shorts on.
As long as your camera stays off.
Yeah, we don't need a repeat of some of our streams we've had.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Let's see, it happened to me twice. It happened to Germ twice. Jill's
it's never happened to me.
On her panel. Well, it's because you're prejudiced on who comes on your panel.
Yeah, there was guy.
There's a good reason for that.
Yeah, and
good definitely.
I know a few people it's happened to a couple times.
Trusty Egg got bombed last week when I was on one of his lives. Yeah. We told him, we said, don't do it, and he let the guy on. It's like, oh crap.
See, it's just because we never listened to you guys. And Spidey says, well, duh. And welcome to the man of many words, Cody Guy.
Hello, Cody Guy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just closing up here, Cody Guy.
Yeah, Scotty says, watching the show is such an adoration.
Adoration. That's almost like a religious term. Are you having religious experience watching us, Scotty?
Yeah.
It's
an adoration.
Yeah, everybody's saying hi to each other. Love or not, you dig the show as a whole.
That's how I am. I love the show.
Yeah,
I love the especially hardware, space stuff, the equipment, the spaceship. I'm in love with the Jupiter 2. I love the laser rifles, the robot. I'm absolutely in awe. After all these years, even though I know how the robot was done, I still love it. I would never get tired of Lost in Space. I could watch it over and over until the end.
Alrighty then. Sean says FTW is for the win. Yes, okay. Yeah, I'm not going to remember that. He eats fishes like apples. Actually, yeah, because I don't eat apples all that often either. I don't eat fish as much as I used to. All you need is fish. Yep. And I knew there was something wrong with you, Scotty. Now I figured it out. With rice. With butter. Lots of butter. No, I need rice
Yummy.
and vodka.
Oh, that's one way of doing it.
Rice as well. As long as it's minimal batter. Yep. See, no, well, Spidey, what I do with bullheads here, and it's really good for bullheads and catfishes. You take some flour, throw it into a thing there. You throw your salt and pepper in there. Then you put lemon pepper in there, which is really good,
Yuck.
or garlic.
I'll do the garlic, but definitely no lemon.
Yeah. Well, well, it's really good with the lemons there. There, but
I know
yeah,
some people.
garlic.
I know some people like that way, but not me.
Yeah, or garlic in there, and then you just throw it in into some oil in a frying pan and fry both sides. Then Scotty says, Skydance, good news. Yeah, getting a company that nobody's heard of with the washout company merging together. We'll see how that goes.
Well, no, we've heard of it. If you go back and watch, and by the way, I'm not suggesting you do, but if you go back and watch the J.J. Abrams versions of those three Trek movies, it'll say Bad Robot, and then it'll say Skydance Productions. So they were in cahoots and in partnership to make that stuff. So they've been around a while, but they haven't around a big company like Sony and Columbia and some of the big ones. That's all. Sorry.
All right, so Canadian Spider says rice is nice. Sushi.
Hey, hello, Canadian Spider-Man.
And he says the change in management is a good way to shake things up.
It's possible.
Yes.
Yeah. And Yost is sourpuss for even. I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. And I like the name at least.
Oh, he's saying use a sourpuss for evers and ever.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And Scurvy here says I like tuna sashimi. And yeah,
Sashimi.
South forms of sashimi. I don't even know what that is.
It's Japanese.
Okay, that's why. I don't eat anything I can't pronounce.
Okay.
And but it's funny. He says I miss the one that I'm never around when people are naked on camera. Well, if you want somebody, I can send you the StreamYard things.
It's not a pretty sight, and the people what you see is not good looking. It's not an attractive thing. It's something you will constantly regret.
Yeah, yeah, it's not impressive like mine, but that's a whole different story. But that's all the chats.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to show a trailer for next week's episode. Got my fingers crossed. I hope I got the bandwidth. So let's see if I can get this to work for a change. Ba-ba-ba. And it's not there. Of course it isn't. Hold on a second. Give me just a moment, you guys. Blah, blah, blah. Gonna drag it out for a moment. I'm gonna export this one more time.
No, Scotty. Gorilla is not a monkey. Gorilla is an ape.
Yeah, speaking of that, of course, no surprise to anybody. But it looks like the recent Planet of the Apes movie bombed, which we all expected. I know I definitely predicted it. So yeah, good riddance to them. I hope the whole franchise burns up. There we go. And you guys heard about the terrific disaster that the Furiosa movie was. So yeah, I'm actually celebrating that because if they're gonna if they're gonna screw over my franchises, then I have no sympathy whatsoever for them.
The only thing that would get me back in the theater for Mad Max movie is that if they put the original Mad Max back and they call him Old Max and we follow him till the end of his journey. That would be awesome.
That's right, right. And it ends with him dying or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would pay money to see that. That'd be great.
Okay. Let's see if this works.
Down you go, Smitty!
Thor alone has control over the icy forces of Nibelheim.
The Frost Giants!
Dr. Smith, look! I have come to the hammer of Thor! I am Brunhilde, the Valkyrie!
Yeah, it actually worked for a change.
Well,
I'm actually excited.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously we're gonna get Sheila Allen Matthew Allen in her guest role. She was Irwin Allen's girlfriend. So if you're wondering who the heck is that, that's who it is.
Well, at least we're getting some high culture operatic singing there, so that could definitely help the episode.
Well, we get Thor's magic hammer, and it looks like we get
right.
a giant, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it already sounds like it's going to be a step above the one we watched tonight, right?
I'd give it a hopeful vote, a thumbs up, yes.
Okay. So next week, everybody, tune in. We will be back for that episode, Space Vikings, if you can make it. I would really appreciate it. I think we'll have a great time. It looks fun. Is there anything you want to add before we close this up?
No.
Not really. I'm ready to go, actually, come to think of it.
Okay, well then I want to say thank you, everybody. Drive safe if you're working tomorrow. Definitely get up in plenty of time, go to bed early. I don't want anybody to drive tired or get in a wreck or anything like that. And this is actually the time of year where I can tell you some of you guys to stay cool and some of you guys to stay warm because the weather seems to be shifting for a lot of people right now. So with that, have a great night, everybody.